morning, everybody, and thanks so very much for stopping by to join us this morning. I'm Linda Theis, and I am very pleased to announce the formation of Ohio ProLife Action, which is a statewide organization dedicated to providing representation, leadership, and support to the pro-life movement in Ohio and to public officials and candidates who work courageously to protect innocent human life. As you all know, the heartbeat bill was passed by a vote of 54 to 44 in the Ohio House on June the 28th, with 53 co-sponsors, including Speaker Backshelter. The bill is now in the hands of Senate President Tom Theis. The bill is only 17 votes away from becoming the most pro-life law in the state, and indeed, in the nation. In the course of our time working collaboratively on the heartbeat bill, it has become apparent that there's a real need for organized representation and leadership for those across the state who want to protect babies with beating hearts. And that's what we're doing today. It's for that reason that our first order of business for Ohio ProLife Action is to coordinate the effort among individuals, groups, and organizations to pass the Ohio Heartbeat Bill. Our second order of business then is to support the public officials and the candidates who work to assure the passage of that Ohio pro-life heartbeat bill. I will be introducing to you a television ad that will kick off our first media campaign, but first I'd like to take some time to introduce you to some of the leadership team members who have stepped up to help create and serve as officers and board members of Ohio Pro-Life Action. Dr. Jack Willke, the father and the founder of the pro-life movement, who is unable to be here with us today, will serve as one of our vice presidents. We are privileged to have Mr. Phil Burress as a vice president as well. Phil?
Thank you, Linda. I'll be brief. Citizens for Community Values is excited to be a part of this team. I've never seen anything like this in the state of Ohio, dealing with the life issue in 28 years that CCV has been around. We are fully committed. I serve on the board of Family Research Council Action, which is also committed, and the American Family Association, who is also committed to passing this bill. Again, I am thrilled to be part of this. I have never, when I was called and asked to be a part of this and saw who was on the team, it was like being on waivers and being asked to join the World Series team. So this is it, and we're going to win, and we're going to save the lives of babies. Thank you.
Okay, Barry Sheets will be serving as Secretary of Ohio Pro-Life Action.
Thank you, Linda. And as Secretary, I wrote my comments down. It's my pleasure to be involved with Ohio Pro-Life Action. For nearly 40 years, my generation, those who support the unalienable right to life as secured by our founders in our constitutional republic, have had hope deferred while seeing a parade of candidates and officials who play at the margins of ending the scourge of abortion in our state. Now, that hope is being renewed. As an organization is coming onto the field which rejects compromise and the politics of postponement, which will stand for and support those courageous citizens who will not compromise on the bedrock principle of defending innocent life. The time is now for Ohio Pro-Life Action. Thank you.
We're also pleased to have join us as our Pro-Life Action Treasurer, former State Representative Ed Kasputis.
Thank you very much. I did not come with any prepared remarks. I'm honored to be with this great organization, and Barry, you hit on a concept that I had long forgot. I'm in this room for one reason: to not play within the margins. I'm here to protect unborn life. I will count the money and we will spend the money wisely. And once again, thank you very much. But our Million Mile March has started. Let's take step one.
Okay, great. Okay, we also welcome Paula Westwood, who will serve as a board member of Ohio Pro-Life Action. Paula.
I'm Paula Westwood, and I'm Executive Director of Right to Life in Greater Cincinnati. It's the largest Right to Life chapter in the state, and it's an honor to be on the board of Ohio Pro-Life Action, just as it's an honor for me to be part of Right to Life. And I see those as two sides to a hinge that's going to close the door on abortion forever. The heartbeat bill I love because it's not a Republican bill, it's not a Democrat bill, conservative or liberal. It's a civil rights bill. The citizens want it. It deserves a vote. And we're asking the Senate to bring it to a vote quickly.
I'd also like to introduce you to past State Representative Linda Theis, who will be seated as a board member as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Linda Theis. I'm a former state representative. We are this close to passing a landmark pro-life legislation. But as we all know, close only counts in the game of horseshoes or if you're throwing a grenade. That's why the time is now. With a pro-life majority in the legislature and a pro-life governor, the time is now. Will Ohio take the lead? Well, the Ohio House said yes. With the sponsorship of Representative Lynn Watchman, the heartbeat bill traveled successfully through the House. Then, under the leadership of House Speaker Bill Batchelder and Representative Jim Willke, the majority of state representatives understood the significance of a beating heart, and they voted the right way. We are deeply grateful to each of them. So, will Ohio take the lead? Now it is up to the Ohio Senate. Thank you to the senators who have looked at the merits of the bill and choose to stand for life, and for those with a beating heart who cannot speak for themselves. I have spent time lobbying senators, and there are more than enough pro-life senators to pass this bill, but they need to be given the opportunity to do so. Those of us who have been working to get this bill passed, we understand the legislative process. The heartbeat bill has yet to be assigned to committee so that hearings can be held and the bills can be vetted in those hearings. Once it is passed out of committee, then it would go to the Senate floor for a vote. If this does not take place before the end of the current General Assembly, the bill dies. The same fate as over 26,000 unborn children every year in our state. Hence, the formation of Ohio Pro-Life Action, supported by pro-family groups across the state. How can we stand by and ignore the daily destruction of so many human lives? We can't, and we won't. Thank you.
Nice job. I'd like to ask State Representative Willke to come up and just say a few words. He was a stalwart supporter in the House, has been for years. We are so privileged that he is such a strong supporter. Representative Willke.
Thank you, Linda. It's great to be on the podium with champions of life, and it's particularly gratifying for me to see my former colleague Ed Kasputis, because we served many years together and fought on behalf of life the entire time we're here. I did not have the privilege of serving with former Representative Reitelbach, but I do know, obviously, from her past experience and work in the legislature that she's one of us. I first joined the House in 1983, and since that time, one of my main missions in the legislature, representing my district in West Central Ohio, is to work hard every day to protect life. We have many people in this state who want to protect the sanctity of life. And there is no question that House Bill 125 gets us one step further to protect the life of the unborn. And I'm here today to support House Bill 125 to help get that passed in the Senate and to support this group, this new group, and any other group in Ohio that fights for the unborn. We will prevail. It is my privilege to be here today to continue the fight that is right. Thank you.
Thanks, Representative. We'd also like to recognize Representative Hagan and Representative Thompson, who were big supporters of the bill in the House, and we thank them for stopping by this morning as well. Thank you so much for all your support. Thanks. I'd also like to welcome to the podium Mr. Mark Harrington of Creative Equal.
Good morning. My name is Mark Harrington, the Executive Director for Created Equal. I also spent 12 years as the Director for the Center for Bioethical Reform, which is based in Southern California. I'm here because we support the heartbeat bill, simple as that. And we support any and all efforts to protect human life. And that's why I stand here in support of the Ohio ProLife Action. This is a culmination of many years. 2006, House Bill 228 was introduced by Representative Tom Brinkman. It's a similar bill to try to protect the children. This is a fulfillment of that vision, that we would finally close the deal and protect children once again in Ohio. So I look forward to the efforts of the Ohio ProLife Action, and I look forward to being called upon to help in the effort to protect the unborn. Thank you.
Also, some of you may know Bobby Raddick, who is with Concerned Women for America, and I'd like to introduce her to you as well.
Good morning. Concerned Women for America is America's largest women's public policy organization with 500,000 members, but within Ohio we have 24,000 members, and we are going to continue to pray, to educate, and to rally our members together to support the heartbeat bill and this Ohio ProLife Action group. So we are so proud to be with everyone, and we're so proud to support everything that they're doing, and we are going to get this heartbeat bill passed. Thanks for being here.
Okay, and I'd also like to introduce to you Mrs. Julie Busby.
Good morning, my name is Julie Busby. I'm a current board member of Ohio Right to Life, and I am excited to be a part of a group of powerful people who are about making real positive change and are going to see to it that the heartbeat bill is going to get passed, a bill that will save 26,000 lives a year just in our state, and a bill that is going to save more lives in our state than any other bill. Thank you.
And then Mrs. Noreen Moss is also here with us today as a supporter.
Hi, I'm excited to be here today. I'm a member of Ohio Right to Life Political Action Committee, and I'm also here representing Hancock County Right to Life, as well as Women's Resource Center of Hancock County in Findlay, Ohio. And I'm excited to lend my support to the Pro-Life Action to protect those babies with a beating heart.
Okay, then we have a number of Ohio Right to Life chapters who are represented today. The first one I'd like to introduce to you is Lori Byers. Many of you know her already. Laura?
Good morning, I'm Lori Byers, Vice President of Warren County Right to Life, and we are honored and pleased to stand with Ohio Pro-Life Action because we're in business to protect unborn children, not just regulate abortion, but to protect unborn children. And so we're excited about the heartbeat bill, we're excited about Ohio Pro-Life Action, the coalition, just standing here in unity with so many grassroots leaders across Ohio is a real privilege and an honor. Thank you.
And welcome to Rochelle Heidelbaugh.
Hello, I'm Rochelle Heidelbaugh with Hancock County Right to Life and Women's Resource Center of Hancock County, and I am here to extend our support to Ohio Pro-Life Action and the heartbeat bill as we protect babies with beating hearts in Ohio.
And Bascom Life Organization has sent a couple of representatives as well. So Marcia? Chris? This is
I'm Marcia Holman, and I'm representing Bascom Life, who has the largest chapter here, and we probably represent the smallest chapter here. But we have a very big heart. We're here to show our support for the Ohio Pro-Life Action Group and the heartbeat bill, and to do any work that we can to help get it passed.
Okay, and Mary Bose is also here from Astoria Right to Life. Mary?
Yes, I'm from Astoria Right to Life, and we are supporting Ohio Pro-Life Action so we can pass this heartbeat bill.
Good. Thank you. And one of my favorite little people, I shouldn't say it that way, but she is one of my favorite little big people in the whole world, and that is Marilyn Dowler from Marion. Marilyn? Where's Marilyn? There she is. Come on, Marilyn. You can do it. Can you get up there? Do I need to lift you?
I'm Wheat Grandma. I'm Marilyn Dowler, representing Marion County, and I'm a member of Marion Citizens for Life. And I'm really here to strongly support this new wonderful pro-life action group to bring us all together to do mighty works for the babies. Thank you. Thanks.
Good. Thank you so much. You will all get a copy shortly of a sample ballot card that we've put together. You can see what we'll be doing in the spring elections. Make sure you get one of those before you go. And before we give you the preview of our first ad that's going to run in the Dayton market very soon, I'd like to introduce you to a long colleague and very, very good friend of mine who has been so helpful in trying to pull everything together for the Ohio Heartbeat Bill, and that is Mrs. Janet Folger-Horner.
Thanks, Linda. I'm president of Faith to Action. Many of you know it's a national organization. We have been distributing voter guides for many years. I believe we had, Ross can verify, 2 million downloads in I believe it was the last election, but 5 million downloads through all of our partners. We are America's largest network of pro-family organizations. But I have said it before, I'll say it again. If you look at the supporter list, I don't think there is a bill in America with more support than the Heartbeat Bill. And I don't believe there is more support in the state of Ohio for any legislation than the Heartbeat Bill, and how encouraging it is to know that there is a new statewide organization that actually stands for babies with beating hearts, but brings with it such authority, such influence, such impact. To give you a little glimpse of it, just Phil Burress is very humble, he's understated. This is a guy that has distributed 4.5 million voter guides through church bulletin inserts. Another 270 that went out to those who were downloaded, individual downloads. Chris Long is not here today, but he does stand with us from the Ohio Christian Alliance. Has distributed anywhere between 1.7 million and 2 million voter guides and ballot cards. Cincinnati Right to Life, she is soft-spoken, but she carries a very big impact. Paula Westwood has been responsible just from that one group to distribute 100,000 ballot cards. You get the idea. I added them all up and ended up with 6,924,700 ballot cards that have been distributed just from the people in this room right now. That's 7 million ballot cards to reach 7 million voters. And considering the fact that there's only 8 million registered voters in the state of Ohio, the fact that you're looking at people who can reach 7 million, and yes, there's some overlap. I'm sure there's some duplication, and what a greater impact to reach people with more than one ballot card, more than one message for babies with beating hearts. But when you consider only 4 million people actually voted in the state of Ohio, the group behind me actually represents people who can reach 7 million, and it warms my heart to know that Ohio Pro-Life Action is going to be now distributing voter guides of their own and getting out the support for those legislators and the candidates who stand for babies with beating hearts. I do not know of a more powerful coalition than the one in this room, with more influence, more support, and more impact. And to realize the unity that is here, it is unparalleled. Thank you.
So as you can see, Ohio Pro-Life Action is made up of many individuals, groups, and organizations from all across the state, and we are pleased to be working together in this collaborative effort to help provide legal protection for all babies with beating hearts. This is an exciting time. We are just so pleased to have the opportunity to pull all of this together to make sure that this happens. We need to get to the Senate now, of course we do. And we know that the votes are there if we get to the floor. So we are doing everything that we can to influence our senators right now to give this serious consideration without delay. All these groups are very well positioned to work together to make sure that the entire state of Ohio is well informed about public officials and candidates in regard to their support on this Ohio Heartbeat Bill. In addition, Ohio Pro-Life Action has prepared a new media campaign that will run soon in the Dayton market. And so before we all take your questions today, we're really pleased to share with you the first ad that will kick off that campaign.
The Heartbeat Bill, which protects unborn babies with beating hearts, will save the equivalent of a school bus full of children every single day. That's right, every single day the Senate delays a vote on the Heartbeat Bill, a school bus full of children's lives are lost. Ask your state senators to persuade Senate President Tom Theis to bring the heartbeat bill to a committee and a vote today. We can't wait another day. The cost is just too high. Paid for by Ohio Pro-Life Action.
Okay, you want to run it one more time, Ross?
Sure.
Everybody can, it's pretty short, pretty quick, but we'll do it once more, please.
The heartbeat bill, which protects unborn babies with beating hearts, will save the equivalent of a school bus full of children every single day. That's right, every single day the Senate delays a vote on the heartbeat bill, a school bus full of children's lives are lost. Ask your state senators to persuade Senate President Tom Theis to bring the heartbeat bill to a committee and a vote today. We can't wait another day. The cost is just too high. Paid for by Ohio Pro-Life Action.
Good, thanks, Ross. Those will be running before long, as soon as everything is all orchestrated to have everything official. We have filed everything with the Secretary of State's office. We're just waiting for everything to come back. And as soon as that's all in place, you will see those ads running in the Dayton market. Okay, any questions from anybody? We would be, yes, sir.
Jim Robbins with Legal Blade.
Yes,
Can
Jim.
you give us an idea of what your relationship, this organization's relationship is going to be with Ohio Right to Life?
You know, we have found, just working on this bill, that there's just been an absolute need for leadership, and so we've stepped up to do that. We welcome them to come on board with this, just like we welcome every other organization across the state. We have traditionally, and in this entire season, when they have been introducing legislation, have been totally supporting all of their legislation, and we hope they will be on board as well. Yes, sir.
Bill Hershey, why are you starting in the Dayton market?
Well, you know, the Dayton market is a pretty critical one, as you know. And we have Senator Laner there, who said, by the way, that she will support the bill if it comes to the floor of the Senate in the same format that it came to the House. So we're hoping, she's a powerful lady, and so is Senator Jones. It's also near Senator Niehouse's district. So it's targeted towards them because they're going to have a lot to say about whether or not this gets to the committee. So we're excited about it because I think an awful lot of people in the area will be moved to contact them and just encourage them to please get it out there. When you're thinking, you know, 70 babies every day, a whole busload of children, you know, the delay is just costing us too many lives. So we're hoping people will make contacts. Yes?
The National Right to Life movement is going to announce today that they're going to try this informed consent push in all 50 states. Is that a bill you guys would support? This is
Michelle Bachman's bill, correct? Yeah, I mean, actually, Michelle Bachman was one of the first ones to come on to support the Ohio heartbeat bill as well. Things are a little different on the federal level. I'm sure she's well aware that it would be difficult to get it through the Senate right now to do what we're doing in Ohio. And so she took the informed consent portion of it, which is good, which is very good, and we will support it as well. But it's basically informed consent. If the mother hears the baby's heartbeat, that's a very good thing, but then she still, according to their bill, will have the option to choose to have the abortion or not. Our bill, of course, will say if the baby's heartbeat is detected, the baby will be protected. So there's a difference in the bills. I don't want there to be any confusion, but we are definitely supportive of that bill as well.
Has the Senate President's office indicated to you why he hasn't scheduled the bill in committee?
You know, there's a lot going on in the fall, and we certainly understand that. You know, we have got filing dates coming up here in December, and we've got the election in November, and the Senate is generally not in session too much during this time anyway. I mean, so we do understand that, and that's part of the situation, I think. And he, frankly, has wanted us to try and work as closely as we can with all of the pro-life organizations, which we have done. If there's one or two out there that are not supporting that, or not supporting this effort, that is certainly not because we have not made the effort to bring them all in. So I think, as you can see, we've got the vast majority of people from across the state now, and I think that our Senate President will be able to see that with this new organization.
He's mentioned that he's going to get some state lawmakers together to look at some of the legal issues that Ohio Right to Life has raised, and before bringing this to the floor. Are you aware of those comments?
Yes, you know what, we have had those discussions as well. However, if you look at everything that was done in the House, we vetted this so much in the House. We sat down and met with every attorney we could get our hands on. Anybody who knew anything about pro-life legislation was a part of putting the bill together on the House side. And we spent a long time making sure that it was just right before the Speaker put his name on it to support it in the House. As all of you know, we were a little nervous thinking, oh please, get this through the House. Come on, Mr. Speaker, what are you doing? But as it turned out, Mr. Speaker just wanted to make sure that it was the best bill, and it absolutely is. So we've done all that homework in the House, and frankly, we just don't want to keep going over and over the same things when we know that this is the bill that we want to put through in the Senate. Yes?
How long do you expect that ad to run in Dayton, and then are there plans to take it statewide?
There will be some plans to do some other things after that, but we're going to get started in the Dayton market. Not sure exactly how long they're going to run down there. We're still working on that.
Okay. I mean, are you fundraising money for these types of ads? Or?
Yes, we are just starting to do that. We are just starting to do that now.
Just to follow up what you said about the vetting you did in the House, the Ohio Right to Life leaders continue to say that they're concerned that this might backfire, that it would just reinforce the right to an abortion through another U.S. Supreme Court decision. You don't agree with that?
You know what, Mr. Hershey? No, we don't. We don't. We feel that we have absolutely nothing to lose. I mean, what is there to lose when we start moving the ball down the field in the right direction? If they stop us a little ways, we'll just keep moving and keep moving. It's sort of the pounding on the door, keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back. And so, that's our intention, is to, just keep moving this, because eventually, the Supreme Court is going to need to look at something different than they've seen before. We can understand, and we've talked about this, we can understand the difference in strategies that different organizations would use. But our strategy is not to go with something that is so absolutely certain to be ruled constitutional that we don't give the Supreme Court a chance to upgrade their decision. So I think it was David Forte who said in the compilation of information when we were putting this bill together, he said, the Supreme Court never changes their mind unless they're invited to. So this Ohio pro-life heartbeat bill is meant to extend that engraved invitation to the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn Roe.
And to be clear, this bill has no exceptions in it, right? Life, mother.
Well, this bill really doesn't need too many exceptions, because it starts when the baby's heart begins to beat. So we don't have to worry about the rape and incest exceptions. It does have a health exception for the mom. It's got the same language in it that Ohio Right to Life had in their post-viability bill. So we know that that is constitutional. We're good with that. We're good with that.
Do you have any plans to go around the Senate, go to the ballot if you can't get a vote? I mean, if you have this many supporters, do you plan to have that network to, connect to so many voters?
That's always a consideration. However, we have come so far with the Ohio House and have gotten so far in the legislature here, and we know that we have the votes in the Senate. So it's our strategy to keep moving on the senators to get them to bring this to the committee and then onto the full floor.
Is this a non-profit organization that you promote?
Absolutely, 501c4.
And any plans to create a PAC at some point so that you can become directly involved in campaigns?
Well, according to the United, who knows this? Citizens United ruling came down that said now that C4s may make endorsements. We're only allowed to have 49% of our activities go directly to candidates, but we really don't need to have a political action committee. So we're going to stick with the C4 right now. If there's a need in the future, that's always a possibility.
Would you voluntarily agree to release where your sources of funding come from?
Oh, where our sources of funding come from? I hadn't even given that any thought, but I'm sure that that's got to be made available, doesn't it? How's that work? Not necessarily. Okay.
But you can voluntarily.
We could voluntarily do that, and you know what? We will certainly sit down and talk about that, because that's not really been a consideration thus far. We're just getting started with that, so yes.
Do you think that the strategy you mentioned, there are different strategies in the pro-life movement. Do you think that this is a good strategy to start with the limited or the consent
a good strategy on the federal level, just because of the situation there. And then they're going to come back to the state as well. Well, you know what? There are a number of states right behind us that want to do the full heartbeat bill, like we're doing it here in Ohio as well. So, go for it. I mean, any state can go for anything they want to go for. Whatever they think they can get passed in their state to move us down the line, we're for it. We're for it. We just feel in Ohio we have such a good makeup right now in the House and the Senate and with the governor's office that we would be remiss if we didn't go for the strongest language that we could.
But you do think that you would support that bill?
Oh, it's absolutely valid. It's absolutely valid, and it will certainly encourage women to think more deeply and more concertedly before they make a decision, particularly if they can hear the baby's heartbeat. So that's a good thing. Good thing. Yes,
I just wanted to add that it was Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann who said that her bill was inspired by our bill. When I first talked with their office, they agreed to sign on and say, yes, we want to protect babies with beating hearts. She said that this is what this bill inspired them. They didn't believe they could go as far as we could in Ohio. What's great about it is there were some memos being circulated to say that this bill won't save any lives. Well, we know for a fact it already has, and it's because of that informed consent. Just by you guys reporting accurately the stories of the beating heart and the youngest to ever testify, those clips got out, and there is a baby who is alive now that would have otherwise been aborted had the news not been accurately reported. So we thank you for that. But it's a bill that not only does Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann support our heartbeat bill, but so does Governor Rick Perry, so does Judge Roy Moore, so does Newt Gingrich, so does former Governor Mike Huckabee, as well as George Voinovich. The list goes on. But this bill is one, in fact, having been the one who passed informed consent back, I think we started in '89, it passed in '91, we've already passed informed consent in Ohio. That's something that I work to do. Will this make it better? Yes. And what's great about this bill is that it actually, if there is a temporary enjoyment of some part of the legislation, we'll at least get informed consent. We'll at least get the reporting, and we'll at least get the testing. So at a minimum, we're going to get what they're shooting for in Congress. But at a maximum, we have a bill with a trigger clause that even on a better court ruling, we're going to see children protected.